What's going on, guys? My name is Shane Kipper, and today I wanted to give you kind of a formula that you can use when you're creating your sales funnels. Before we get started, I want to invite you to go to callwithshane.com. I put together a free three-part video series where you can actually see how you can identify who your target market is. Then the second video talks all about sales funnels and how to structure them, how to make them easy, how to make them effective. And then number three is automation domination. So we really dive into how to automate the back end so you don't have to sit there and write emails every single day. But what we're going to be talking about is my RMTC method. I just came up with it today. I've been studying a lot of copywriting, and a guy, Stefani Georgie, sorry, forgot his name. Sorry, man. But he has the RMBC method. And I took a lot from that. I would look that up. It's a great sales letter. If you're into copywriting, that would be a great place to read and analyze what's going on in the copy itself. But it gave a framework, and I understood the value of providing frameworks and creating my own framework, not only for my business, because the thing is when you have a framework, especially for, let's say, sales funnels, maybe you have a framework for video sales letters, maybe you have a framework for writing ad copy, maybe you have a framework for writing copy itself or emails, or there's a framework that you can really develop for anything. Okay, and this is my method. I kind of really came up with it on the spot, so it may adjust. And that's the thing, your method, your framework is going to change as you start to understand, you start to adjust, and you do more and more of the work. This is going to adjust. So the first one that I have is research. Okay, R stands for research, M stands for model, excuse me. T stands for template, and C stands for create. Okay, so the reason I set it up this way is because I really believe that these are the steps that you need to take in order to create a successful sales funnel. Number one, you have to do your research. The most important element that you could ever consider when creating your sales funnel is really understanding who it's for. Because you can go out there, create a sales funnel and market to everybody, but your results are going to be puny. And I can almost guarantee that. Because the reality of it is if you don't understand your market, your ideal who, then you're going to have a hard time really connecting with that individual and communicating with them in a way that persuades them to purchase or sign up or whatever the call to action may be. Okay, so when it comes to research, there's a few things that you want to look for. Okay, you want to create kind of an avatar. Okay, and so when we're looking at the avatar, what are the elements that we need to know? We need to know kind of their age bracket, and this is probably stuff you've already heard multiple times, but it's so important, we really need to drill it in again. Okay, you need to know their age, gender, maybe it's both, and that's fine. You need to know what their frustrations are. You need to know what their desires are. So what's keeping them up at night? What is the most important thing to them? Something that I really got from that sales letter, the RMBC method, is that the problem that was solving, which is his copy course, is helping people simplify the copywriting process. Because if you think of copy and you look at some really long sales letters, it's daunting. It's like, oh my God, who the hell wrote all this? How does that come out of your brain, and how long does that take? And that can really stunt you from ever actually going out and trying it and doing it and perfecting it. But if you can provide a solution, if your solution to their desire or their frustration, these are the things you need to know in order to present them with something that meets them where they're at, so that you can actually help them overcome their obstacles and meet the goals that they have for themselves. Okay, so their age, their gender, their frustrations, their desires, You know, their affiliations, okay, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of questions you really need to ask. Dig deep. Don't spend 5 minutes on this. Spend an hour on this. Spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours on this. If you're going to spend, let's say it takes you a total of, we'll call it 48 hours to build your funnel. Let's call it a week. But in total of working hours, let's say 72 hours. In 72 hours, if you spend 5 to 10 hours of that working on your research, you're going to really understand them. Some places that you can go are Facebook. You can go to Amazon. You can go to different blogs. And what you're looking for here is, where are they hanging out? What are they talking about? Okay, what are they talking about? What is their language? How do they talk? What are they concerned about? You know, when they talk to other people in the review section, or when they leave reviews, what you can literally get their frustrations with the product. And if you have that that frustration, and in an example, let's say keto, because you know keto seems to be an easy one to make stuff up for, but with keto, you may want to look at, let's say, a book on keto on Amazon. So let's take Amazon for an example. Go to Amazon.com, look at the one of the top trending keto books, and then go to the review section, because you're going to see what people were having frustrations with and struggles with when going through that content. Now, all you have to do is scrape that information and now start talking about it in your content, in your webinars, in your sales copy, in your emails. See how easy this becomes and how important this is to do? Because if you have your arsenal of research, you know, when you actually launch your sales funnel and your advertising and your email campaigns, when you can start to see and start to adjust and test different things to figure out exactly what it is that people want and what people are frustrated with and what you can actually help them in order to get that desire. Okay, so do your research. Number one is research. Before you even build your sales funnel, if you do your research before you build your sales funnel, you're going to flop. I can almost guarantee that. Okay, the next one I would say is model. Okay, so let me erase this because there's two more that I'll go over here in just a second. Model. So find what works. Okay, find what works. You want to model success. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. Okay, you're going to want to look at, when you do your research, you're going to want to look at other people that are in your industry, or maybe in subcategories of your industry, or maybe not even in the same vertical. You don't even have to be in the same industry to find something that works. What you really want to know is, are they advertising? And if they are advertising, what does that sales funnel look like? And on that sales funnel, what are they talking about? How are they talking to their customer? Now, the key here, we're not stealing, we're modeling. There's a difference. Stealing is taking word for word. Modeling is taking a structure or a framework and building out your brand, your message, and your offer. Okay, but that's another thing. When it comes to your offers, you know, or when it comes to modeling, you can see, what are they offering? What are they offering? Because then you can see, okay, here's the main offer, but they've got a stack. And if you don't know what a stack is just, you know, here's your core offer, and then it comes with this, this, and this, but you're going to also get bonus 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So with this, you're going to also see, because especially, and the reason I say you want to make sure that they're doing advertising is because, if they are successful, they're already going to have done a lot of the research. They're already going to have paid a lot of money to figure out what's working and what's not. So you don't have to go out there and spend a bunch of money and just eventually flop because you're just testing, trying to figure it out. So, what is their offer? And then, see what's inside that offer. Sometimes you may have to buy the product so you can see what's on the next side. A lot of times you'll see upsells. Sometimes you'll see a ton of upsells. Now, not always necessary. It really depends on your industry. But those upsells are really going to give you an idea of what you can also upsell to. It's kind of a ladder framework. It doesn't always have to work that way, depending on what kind of service or product or coaching or online membership or whatever it is that you offer is going to determine if there is or isn't an upsell. If you're a service-based business, I would say that most likely you're going to have just an education webinar, something that provides value, that also asks them to book a call for a consultation or whatever that is. You may have upsells on the back end though. After they've become a client, like let's say you built them a website and now they need graphic design, they need social media on the back end, stuff like that. So, but if it's a membership area, a membership type of online course, you're going to have maybe something that's not so expensive up front. You see a lot of free plus shipping offers where it's a book that's for free, but you pay for the shipping. After that, you're going to get access to the course, which is, $97, $197, $297. And then even more, you can have another upsell, you can have downsells, but you need to do the research, but that research allows you to model. And when you model, look at their offers, look at their copy, look at their video sales letters, look at their ads. There's places that you can go on Facebook to actually look at what people are running as ads. So model what works, okay? Template, I'm running out of room. So template to me means once you've kind of modeled, you've figured out what other people are doing, you know what works, you know what your people want, who they are, then you need to create a structure, which basically becomes your framework. So this might actually be an F for framework. Okay, it could be template, it could be framework, but I like the word framework because when it comes to your VSLs, even your offers, your copy, your emails, even your funnel itself, okay, all of that has a framework. And if you can template that system, it becomes easier to start filling things in. So, for example, you're going to have an intro, you're going to have maybe a call to action up front, like I did in the beginning of this video. Go to callwithshane.com to get the free three-part video series. And it's just a simple call to action. And then you got basically the summary of what they're going to learn. And that may even be in the intro, but right here, we're just creating a framework, right? So then you got point 1, point 2, point 3, then you got your recap, you got your CTA, and your close. Okay, so you can actually take this right now as your content framework. Give an intro. Hey, my name is Shane Kipper. Today we're going to be talking about, see where the summary comes into the intro. Today we're going to be talking about the RMFC Method, which is, I'm going to explain in greater detail, but before we get started, go to callwithshane.com to get the free 3-part video series. Now, anyway, So point one I want to make is see, research, model, template, and create points, and then you recap call to action and then close the video. So now I have a template. This is my template right here. So, and I can even use this for my copy. So in my copy, I could literally say or write what I'm saying, and I could give a call to action up front because you kind of want something up at the top within the fold so that they know that there's an opportunity for them to actually get access to something. Okay, but your template, it could be, what's your template for your funnel? Is it a 3-step? Is it a 3-step? You got your opt-in, your webinar, and your thank you page or your booking page. Is that your template? Or maybe it's your emails, Are you gonna have, a 5-day email? Are you gonna have a 5-day email? And then in those emails, there's a framework. So you got this framework within each of these emails. Okay, on your offers, you've got a framework, you've got your main offer, but you got all these bonuses. So, but in order to come up with this stuff, you kind of have to have a framework. You have to have an idea of, how to stack your offer. And then your video sales letter. This is the framework, So that's why this is so important. Now, we're running out of room. I could probably start right over here, but create. So now that you've done the research, you know who you're talking to, you know what they want, what their frustrations are, what they talk about, what their language is, what they complain about. So then now you go into modeling. So now I understand. And then something I'd also like to add is competitors, just so we don't forget that. We want to look at our competitors or people in other sub niches. But then we model. We see what's working, and we look at their offers. We look at their copy. We look at their VSLs. We look at their, their offer, like that. Like I said, the stack. And once we know that, then we want to have a template. We want to have a template for how we're going to, and these formats, or there's these frameworks or templates. Let's just go ahead and call it a framework. Okay, the RMFC method. So the framework. So look, what are their frameworks in their copy, their VSL, and their offers? Okay, it's probably going to be very similar to something like this, but create your frameworks for each piece: emails, funnels, copy, offer, VSLs, your content, your advertising. Okay, create a template for everything, because then once you get to this spot, the creation, it's super easy. You just fill it in. You're filling in the blanks. You know your intro. Who are you? And what do you do? Your call to action. What are you offering? I'm offering a free video series at callwithshane.com. And what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about the RMFC method. Now it's the RMFC method. But you give a summary, then you give your points. Then all I have to do, because now that this is bulleted out, all I have to do is just start talking. And all I have to do is start writing about each of these points. So I could take this video, put it in a sales letter, and launch it as a sales letter with the VSL. I could do the VSL just like this, right? We've got all the frameworks. So you're just filling stuff in, the call to action. You know what your offer is. You know how to close. Then you say, well, thanks for watching. We've talked about the RMFC method. Thanks for tuning in, blah, blah, blah. It's not that complicated. If you're doing live content, live videos, then, you can stay around for FAQ or just, Q&A or whatever. But the creation part should take the least amount of time. This should take the majority of the time. And in fact, I would almost put these two together, the research and the model, because you're still finding out what works. But we'll leave it this for now: research, model, framework, create. Okay. Spend your time researching, understand who it is you're talking to. Don't neglect this part. This is the most important part that you could ever do when starting your sales funnel. That's why it's so important. We'll talk more and more about this. I'm gonna beat the hell out of that. Okay. And then your model. Find what works. Framework. Create a system, and then create, create, and then create. And I might come up with a new word for this. So it might be an execute, but execute on that. Just fill it in. Fill in the blanks. Fill in that template. Fill in that framework with your research and what you were modeling. See how easy this becomes? I hope that helps. Don't forget, go to callwithshane.com to get the free 3-part video series. Number 1 is on finding your who. Number 2 is about creating sales funnels. Number 3 is your email automation. So without further ado, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to smash up that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to try to come out with 2-3 videos a week, see how that kind of goes. But if you enjoyed this, please leave a comment. Let me know what you learned. What element of this do you think you're missing in your current process? And what are you going to start doing today? What's an action step that you can take right now to start improving your entire system and improving your sales funnels? That's it for today. Thanks so much, guys. Peace. Peace.